Hi everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, then welcome. Tanchikia wa Mizami. I am Abigail, or Abby, Abigail Dishnekashun. I am Métis and autistic and love talking about autism stuff. So this is where I do that. And I am currently going through the 30 Days of Autism Acceptance prompts made by my friend Audie J on Tumblr. And yes, I am still having issues with the light. And also, yes, I am still dealing with allergies and still congested, so my voice is still kind of off, at least as far as I can tell from what it sounds like to me. But anyway, today is April 4th, and so today's prompt is, what are your current special interests if you have any? What are some positive ways having special interests have affected your life? What are some negative ways that they have affected your life? How long do they tend to last for you? You could even talk about past special interests if you want. And this is a topic that I could probably go on about for hours. Theater is one, especially musicals. That's why my name here is Les Miserables. Les Miserables is one of my favorite musicals, so went with a pun. Grammatically incorrect pun, technically speaking, since les is plural and I am a singular Abby. But I still think it's fun. But yeah, theater is one of my special interests. I majored in dramatic arts in university, and I am currently working on starting a series on here talking about theater things. I've already got a couple of videos up for that if you're interested. And speaking of what I studied in university, I also took a minor in German because languages are another special interest. I went with German because it goes very well with theater. Bertolt Brecht was German and very influential with theater. Plus, there are some great German language musicals and operas. So German had two of my special interests covered, the languages and the theater. And you do not want to know how many languages I have in progress on Duolingo. It's a lot. Probably a bit too much. I wish that I had better access to more resources for learning Michif. That's the language that I use a bit in my intros and outros. It's a Creole language combining French and Cree, or Nahiaoun, spoken by Métis people. And I probably just butchered the pronunciation for Nahiaoun, so I think I said it better the second time. Anyways, for Michif, there are multiple dialects, some having more French, others more Cree, some based on different dialects of Cree as well, and it is considered an endangered language, which is why I try to use what little I know. And languages also go well with my another special interest of mine, fantasy. I just go generic fantasy because that covers the Tolkien and the Game of Thrones and the dragons like Toothless, and the D&D, which of course is Dungeons and Dragons. There's a whole lot of dragons. I love dragons and fantasy in general. Also unicorns. The last unicorn was my entire childhood. I am getting off track from my script though. So much like the Duolingo account, you probably don't want to know about my D&D collection. I have so many books. Still need more books. And so many dice. So many. I've gotten into resin craft partially so I can start making my own dice. So there will be even more infinite dice. I like the pretty dice. I really like them. I've got metal dice as well as resin and acrylic. I've got a D30, which is really cool and unique. I've got a D100. I've got dice that are shaped like acorns. I can hear myself getting more congested, and I still have 3 pages of script to go. The dice could probably also almost be considered their own category in the special interests. I've tried to teach myself Elvish, like from Lord of the Rings, specifically Sindarin. Though Quenya is also really pretty and I like how it flows, but if I remember correctly, Sindarin is more complete than Quenya, so I lean more towards Sindarin. And yes, for those who don't know, Tolkien did create 2 Elvish languages. Okay, I gotta try and get through this faster because I'm starting to have trouble breathing from the allergies. So the Riordan verse is also a special interest. Percy Jackson, Heroes of Olympus, Trials of Apollo, Magnus Chase, and the King Chronicles. All of it. Except for the 2 movies that came out a decade ago, Not a fan of those. Did really love the first season of the Disney Plus show. As much as there are changes, it stayed pretty true to who the characters are. Like, I straight up thought that Grover's consensus song was from the books, and I'd just forgotten it the first time I saw that scene. I've always been a huge fan of mythology. I had this book on gods, goddesses, and monsters as a kid, and I actually think that was the name of it, just Gods, Goddesses, and Monsters. But I loved it. It introduced me to so much mythology. I was obsessed, and I just really love Rick Riordan's take on everything. It's so much fun. And realistically, mythology as a whole is probably just a special interest, and these series are just a subset of it, like how the fantasy is an umbrella for the Tolkien and the D&D. Recently started getting into Epic the musical and finding that take on the Odyssey really interesting as well. Okay, yeah, getting stiffly here. History is another one. As a kid, the main focuses were Titanic and Egypt. I was a very morbid and probably frightening 11-year-old, knowing the exact death statistics for the Titanic, and also talking about how the Egyptians would remove human brains through the nose during mummification. That was a thing. I just went around saying the death statistics and the brain stuff. Warrior Cats was also a special interest at the same time I was doing that. So when you added my attempts at fan art for these cats just fighting each other and blood everywhere, I really don't get why nobody was concerned. But that was just a whole thing for like 3 years. 10 to 13-year-old Abby was very into death, apparently. And realistically, the history special interest has stayed somewhat morbid. I've also gone through phases of my main focal point being Pompeii, the Black Death, Jack the Ripper, mass extinctions, because it's not just history, it's also prehistory. If it's the Great Depression or newer, it's not old enough for me, and the older history is, the better. Over the last couple years, though, my main area of interest has been the Wars of the Roses and the Tudor era. Six the Musical is partially responsible for this. Taylor Swift and her music could maybe be considered another special interest. I love learning her songs on the piano. The Eras Tour is easily one of the best nights of my entire life. Special interests have a positive impact on my life by bringing me joy. Every time I interact with a special interest, I'm happy. It's my happy place. Aside from the fact that I'm basically dying of allergies right now, I'm feeling very happy just talking about them here. A negative impact is how easily distracted I am. I am a writer, not making a living off of it yet, but I have self-published 4 kids' books, and for the last 10 years I've been trying to work on a fantasy novel. The issue is that several of my special interests are world-building related. The history, mythology, languages, fantasy. So when I'm trying to work on that and figure out how something could work and potential implications based on how the real world works, it can lead me down some major rabbit holes and deep dives, and that slows me down big time. So that's a thing, but at least I have fun with it. Anyway, I think that's it for today. I have been talking for a while now, and hearing my voice just get worse and worse because allergies. Thanks for watching. Merci pour ton temps. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!